There was a time when Hollywood couldn't stop talking about Debra Winger. She wasn't just another actress. She was raw, fearless, and unforgettable. From An Officer and a Gentleman to Terms of Endearment, she stole scenes, stole hearts, and earned Oscar nominations like it was nothing. Yet suddenly, she was gone. No scandals, no giant announcement, just silence. People asked, what happened? Why did Debra Winger walk away when she was at the top? Some say she grew tired of Hollywood drama. Others whisper about behind-the-scenes conflicts. But the truth? It's far deeper and far more human. Join us as we take a closer look at her journey and uncover what really happened to Debra Winger. A tough beginning and a life-changing promise. Mary Debra Winger was born on May 16, 1955, in Cleveland Heights, Ohio. She grew up in a Jewish family. Her father, Robert Winger, worked as a meat packer, and her mother, Ruth, worked as an office manager. Debra's childhood was normal and calm, with no signs that she would one day be one of Hollywood's most talked-about actresses. She later attended California State University, Northridge, where she studied criminology and sociology, but she did not finish her degree. When she was young, she often talked about being in Israel, saying she volunteered on a kibbutz and even trained with the Israeli army. But later, in 2008, she explained that this was not true, and it was simply a normal youth trip that visited a kibbutz. At age 18, everything changed. After returning to the United States, she had a serious accident. She fell off a truck, suffered a cerebral hemorrhage, and became partially paralyzed and blind. Doctors told her she might never see again. For 10 months, she lived in pain and darkness, unsure of her future. During this time, she thought deeply about what she wanted in life. She made a promise to herself that if she recovered, she would move to California and become an actress. It was a bold decision, born out of fear, hope, and strength. And when she finally recovered, she kept that promise without looking back. Finding a way into acting. Debra's first acting role came in 1976 when she played Debbie in Slumber Party 57, a small sex comedy film. It was not a big movie, but it opened a door. Soon after, she landed a special and memorable TV role. She played Drusilla, the younger sister of Wonder Woman, in 3 episodes of ABC's Wonder Woman. Fans loved her energy, and producers wanted her to continue on the show. But Debra believed staying too long could limit her career, so she turned it down. That early decision already showed something clear about her. She always chose roles her own way. After that, she appeared in an episode of Police Woman in 1978, and later played a supporting role in the movie French Postcards. These roles were small, but they slowly helped her build connections and show her talent. She then appeared in Thank God It's Friday, a film that helped get her noticed even more. Hollywood was beginning to see her potential, but it was 1980 when everything started to change in a big way. Debra earned major attention for her breakout role in Urban Cowboy in 1980. The film became a big hit, and her performance brought her huge praise. She earned a BAFTA nomination and 2 Golden Globe nominations for the movie. Suddenly, everyone in Hollywood was paying attention. She had arrived, not by luck, but by raw talent and strong choices. Then came a wave of powerful films and awards attention. She acted in Cannery Row and then starred with Richard Gere in An Officer and a Gentleman, earning her first Academy Award nomination. She followed that with Terms of Endearment, which earned her another Oscar nomination, while her co-star, Shirley MacLaine, won. Later, she received a 3rd Oscar nomination for Shadowlands and earned another BAFTA nomination. She was also nominated for a Golden Globe for her role in A Dangerous Woman. In just over a decade, she had built a career most actors only dream of. But, along with praise, she gained another reputation, being strong-willed and outspoken. Many people in Hollywood talked about her confidence and honesty. She openly criticized some of her films, including An Officer and a Gentleman, and even refused to do publicity for it. Actress Bette Davis once said, "I see a great deal of myself in Debra Winger, who has already acquired a reputation for being difficult because she cares about the project." Being difficult to some simply meant she knew her worth, and she valued real artistic work, injuries, bold choices, and standing firm. Even at the height of her career, life threw challenges at Debra again. She was supposed to star in Peggy Sue Got Married, but a serious bicycle accident injured her back, and she had to withdraw. The role eventually went to Kathleen Turner. That accident put her out of work for months. When she returned, she continued to take bold roles and sometimes bold stances. She was cast in A League of Their Own and trained for 3 months with the Chicago Cubs to play the role of Dottie. But when Madonna was cast in the film, Debra chose to step away. She believed the film changed direction and later said she felt it became more like an Elvis film. She also shared that she was still paid due to her contract, saying, "I collected my pay even though I did not play, and that's very hard to get in a court." Gina Davis replaced her and later received a Golden Globe nomination. Debra said Davis did okay, but she did not change her opinion about Madonna's acting. She also commented that even though the film was fun, it did not leave audiences saying, "Wow, those women did that." Still, she did not hold anger toward the cast, saying she did not begrudge any of them. After that, she continued working in films such as Leap of Faith, Legal Eagles, Black Widow, Betrayed, The Sheltering Sky, and Wilder Napalm. She also starred in A Dangerous Woman and kept showing her strong acting range and bold personality. She later appeared as Joseph Gordon-Levitt's mother in the series Mr. Corman. Through every role, every challenge, and every decision, she stayed true to herself and her sense of dignity. The moment she stepped away. In 1995, Debra Winger did something most actresses at her level never do. She stepped away from acting at the height of her success. No dramatic farewell, no big speech. She simply stopped. Years later, in 2002, she said, "I wanted out for years. I got sick of hearing myself say I wanted to quit." Her words were honest and sharp, just like her personality. She explained that she stopped reading scripts and stopped caring about film work. And when people told her, "We miss you so much," she didn't just smile and nod. She responded with a bold challenge. "In the last 6 years, tell me a film that I should have been in." The few I can think of, the actress was so perfect. That's pure Debra, direct, confident, and unafraid to say what others avoid. After Forget Paris in 1995, she disappeared from the screen for 6 years. But she didn't disappear from life. She was focused on other things away from movies. Then in 2001, she returned with Big Bad Love, a film written and directed by her husband, Arliss Howard. Not only did she act in it, but it marked her debut as a producer. She wasn't just starring in films anymore, she was shaping them. And even though she left movies for a while, the world did not forget her. In fact, her return only raised more curiosity about her journey, finding her stage voice and returning to film. During her time away from Hollywood, Debra didn't sit idle. She took on the lead role in a stage production of Anton Chekhov's play, Ivanov, running from November 1999 to January 2000. It wasn't film, but it kept her acting spirit alive in a different way. Then, in 2002, something interesting happened. Rosanna Arquette made a documentary titled Searching for Debra Winger. The timing said everything. Her absence made people want to understand her more. When she came back to film acting, she did not choose light roles. She appeared in Radio, Eulogy, and sometimes in April. Viewers and critics noticed her again, especially when she played Anne Hathaway's estranged mother in Rachel Getting Married. Her performance received positive reviews and reminded audiences of the depth she always brought to the screen. Around this time, she was also recognized for her television work. Her title role in the film Dawn Anna, directed by her husband, earned her an Emmy nomination. Even when she was not everywhere, her work still stood out. Instead of popping into every project, she chose work that meant something, and slowly, she began to reappear in front of audiences, not rushed, not forced, but on her own timing and terms. Television, experimentation, and new paths. In 2010, Debra returned to television once again, this time as a school principal in an episode of Law and Order. It was only one episode, but it reminded fans she was still here, still working when she chose to. That same year, she joined HBO's In Treatment as one of the main patients in its third season. It was an intimate, emotional show, and she fit right in with its raw style. Then came 2013, when she worked on In the Woods, part of Jennifer Elster's experimental series, The Being Experience. It was different from Hollywood's usual path. The project included many well-known names, like Terrence Howard, Dave Matthews, Questlove, Famke Janssen, and Alan Cumming. Debra was part of something creative, unpredictable, and artistic. She continued to work in film, appearing in Tiger City in 2018. And in between those roles, she popped up in unique places too. In 2017, she made a cameo as Supreme Court Justice Elena Kagan in the TV miniseries When We Rise. That same year, she starred in The Lovers, marking her first romantic lead in many years. Debra didn't chase trends or follow typical Hollywood patterns. She stepped into roles that called to her when she was ready, not before. Step by step, she built a career comeback on her own rhythm, never rushing to reclaim attention, yet always respected when she returned. A comeback on her terms. From 2016 to 2020, Debra took on yet another surprising chapter: comedy. She co-starred with Sam Elliott and Ashton Kutcher in the Netflix series The Ranch, showing she could still adapt and shine in different styles. It was steady work over several years, proving she still had the same presence audiences remembered. Before that, she had already shown her range in a special performance in 1995. During The Wizard of Oz in concert, Dreams Come True, she played the Cyclone narrator and the Wicked Witch of the West. It was a live television event supporting the Children's Defense Fund, and it showed her playful, dramatic side all at once. Even with all the ups and downs, her personality remained strong. She was never the type to pretend or hold back. Her boldness even became part of Hollywood stories. On the set of Terms of Endearment, actress Shirley MacLaine claimed Debra once turned around, lifted her skirt, and farted in her face during a tense moment. MacLaine also said Debra licked her leg in another scene. Years later, when Debra was asked if those stories were true, she smiled and said there was something true in there. She didn't deny her wild side. She owned it. She once said, "I had this reputation for being difficult." But would a man have suffered the same accusation? He would probably have been admired for speaking his mind and be called a perfectionist. That quote tells you everything about her. Tough, honest, and never afraid to call things out. Whether she was acting, producing, or surprising audiences with unexpected roles, Debra always showed she was not like everyone else. She came, she conquered, she walked away, and then she returned only when she chose to, always in her own voice, always in her own way. Speaking of which, Debra Winger's career was full of surprises, and sometimes her personality shocked even Hollywood legends. A wild reputation and a lost role. Actor Michael Douglas once shared a story that became one of the most talked about moments linked to her name. He said she was the studio's first choice for the movie Romancing the Stone in 1984. So he went to dinner with her to talk about the role. But instead of a normal business meeting, Douglas claimed she bit him on the arm. Not a gentle bite, a bite that made him scream in pain. He later told the studio, "I can't go to the jungle with her, she bit me in the arm." That moment cost her the role, and the story only added to her image as unpredictable and bold. For years, the media called her a wild party girl. Stories ran about her nights out, drugs, alcohol, and her love life. But Debra pushed back. She once joked, "But I didn't do anything worse than Jack Nicholson or Roman Polanski." Just kidding. Really, she admitted she had some rough nights, but she also said the stories were blown out of proportion. "I would have one bad night, and it rock and rolled for 5 years in the press," she explained. She even laughed and confessed, "I only took acid once. Hi, Mom. Mushrooms, though, I did a lot of." Her honesty was sharp and playful, but also real. She did not pretend to be perfect. She never tried to paint a fake image. Even as the public judged her, she lived loudly, spoke freely, and never tried to fit into Hollywood's polite box. And while Hollywood whispered about her, she kept working, kept challenging people, and kept attracting attention, both good and bad. Love, family, and choosing a different pace. While her work got attention, her personal life was talked about just as much. In the 1980s, she had high-profile relationships that made headlines. She dated Bob Kerrey, the governor of Nebraska, who had lost part of his leg during the Vietnam War. Kerrey even joked to reporters, "What can I say? She swept me off my foot." Later, she married actor Timothy Hutton, and together they had a son named Noah. By that time, she had started cutting back on her drug use and changing her lifestyle. She said, "I still enjoy a cocktail, and I never renounce drugs. I'm just not pulled toward them anymore." She explained she stopped because she realized she could not do drugs and also seriously chase her dreams. "Right before I got pregnant with Noah, I realized I just could not do drugs and actively pursue what I wanted to pursue." Even her famous difficult label worked in her favor sometimes. When director Richard Attenborough was looking for someone feisty and slightly abrasive for Shadowlands, he remembered Debra's reputation. He said, "I knew of Debra's difficult reputation, of being quite a girl, as we say at home. So I said, I don't mind if you slap me around the head, if at the end of the day what appears on the screen is what we all want." That role earned her another Oscar nomination. But even with success, her life was changing. She met actor Arliss Howard on the set of Wilder Napalm and fell in love again. By the mid-1990s, she no longer wanted the Hollywood rush. "I had a new marriage. I wanted another child. And it seemed ridiculous to run off for 3 months to do another film," she said. She also reached age 40, a tough age for women in Hollywood at the time. She looked around and thought, it's time to go. So she and Howard moved to a farm in Sullivan County, New York. They had a son together named Babe, and she also helped raise Howard's son from a previous relationship. She even taught at Harvard University for a time, saying, "I used to cry on my way to work. I was so happy." And while she stepped away from the spotlight, she chose peace, family, and a life where fame didn't control her every move, finding joy outside Hollywood. Even while she took a break from films, she stayed busy with meaningful work. Her husband convinced her to return to acting in the movie Big Bad Love, which he wrote and directed. But she didn't rush back into the industry. She worked only when she wanted to. She acted in the 2005 telemovie Dawn Anna, and the role earned her an Emmy nomination. But she still didn't jump fully back into Hollywood life. In her 2008 book, Undiscovered, she wrote, "Although I have participated in the odd film project here and there over the last 12 years, I had no real desire to hop back on that merry-go-round." She said she watched other people chase awards and attention while she felt happy living quietly in the countryside. "I watched others as they grabbed for the golden ring and felt fine out in the country on my pony." It was clear she loved the simple life, the peace, the normal days, and time with her family. But eventually, as her youngest son grew up, she slowly returned to acting more often. She starred in The Ranch on Netflix for 4 seasons, showing she could still shine whenever she chose to return. In 2017, she told People magazine she never truly quit Hollywood. She simply pushed the pause button. But even living near the Hollywood sign later in life, she still didn't feel like part of that world. She joked, "I don't know what Hollywood is. I'm living under the freaking sign now, and I just stare at it and laugh." She didn't chase Hollywood, she outgrew it. She chose her own journey instead, full of family, peace, and personal growth. And that made her different from most stars. Debra Winger on Love and Marriage. Debra Winger has never been someone who follows rules quietly, and her thoughts on marriage prove that once again. She has been married to actor and director Arliss Howard since 1996, which is considered a very long time in Hollywood. In an interview, she explained that marriage is not something you decide once and then ignore forever. She shared, "I definitely think it's a decision that needs to be revisited as if never decided before." For her, marriage is about staying awake in the relationship and choosing each other again and again. When asked for tips on keeping a marriage fresh, Debra didn't pretend to have all the answers. She said anyone who claims they completely understand love is a liar or misguided. She believes life and love are always changing. Nothing escapes change, she said. Her advice was simple but deep. Keep loving, keep your energy alive, and keep lighting each other up. She jokingly added that you also need some pixie dust. In her eyes, love isn't about staying the same. It's about seeing each other, noticing the little things, and remembering why you connected in the first place. She explained that in long relationships, we sometimes think routine life means the love is gone, but really, it's about being awake inside yourself. She shared how sometimes in love, you feel fully alive and bright, and other times, life becomes flat. But she believes that the spark can return with the same person, if both people keep trying. When asked about affairs, she didn't pretend not to understand why people are tempted. She said sometimes people think someone new will wake them up, but really, they are searching for depth and meaning. Debra believes those deep feelings can still happen inside a marriage. And when it comes to physical attraction, she also keeps it honest. She said that connection doesn't disappear with age, but you have to try hard enough. To her, romance, friendship, comfort, silence, and attraction are all parts of love. She believes long relationships work when people stay awake, stay curious, and keep choosing each other. Not once, but over and over. Stepping out and showing her confidence. Today, Debra Winger looks different from her Hollywood days, but that does not take away her confidence or grace. In 2024, she appeared in New York at the Drive Away Dolls premiere. She had her natural silver curls, a dark blazer with a blue blouse, loose dark trousers, strong black boots, and a colorful scarf. Her look was simple but stylish, with dark-rimmed glasses showing her bright blue eyes. She stood proudly next to her son, Gideon Babe Ruth Howard, who is now 26. It was a reminder that time passes, but presence and personality never fade. Even though she looks different from her younger movie years, she still carries that same quiet strength and elegance she always had. She continues to keep her natural hair and her minimal makeup style. She does not try to look like her old Hollywood image, she embraces who she is today. During her time away from Hollywood, she didn't just rest or hide. She taught as a lecturer at Harvard University and even wrote a book about her time away from acting. In that book, she explained that she chose to step away from Hollywood to create a life beyond fame. She wrote, "I love the work and don't much care for the business." That sentence shows exactly who she is. She always loved acting as an art, but she never loved the Hollywood machine. She also won awards during her career, including a National Society of Film Critics Award for Urban Cowboy and Oscar nominations for An Officer and a Gentleman, Terms of Endearment, and Shadowlands. And in her personal life, she created a full family life with her husband, Arliss Howard. They have 3 children together, 1 each from their previous relationships, and 1 son together, Gideon. For Debra, family, peace, and authenticity mattered more than glamour, and she never apologized for that. Her honest views on why she stepped back. Debra Winger has always been clear about why she walked away from Hollywood. She explained her reason with honesty that only she could deliver. She said she reached a point where she wasn't interested in the roles coming her way. She didn't want to keep doing the same stories or playing the same emotions again and again. The parts that were coming, I wasn't interested in. I'd already done that, or I'd already felt that, she said. At that time, she also felt that her life outside movies was giving her deeper meaning. She stated, "My life challenged me more than the parts, so I dove into it fully." For her, life had more to offer than scripts. She got married, moved away from Hollywood, and became a mother again at 42. She said she never meant to quit forever, she just pushed the pause button. During that time, she moved to New York City, raised her family, did charity work, joined environmental activism, and even acted on stage. Her son Noah once said she was a thoughtful mother and that it was hard for her to give all her time to acting while raising kids. Debra did not make excuses for taking a break. break. She just lived. She watched movies during her time away, and even admitted she sometimes came out of the theater thinking, "I'm so glad I was away." She also said she thought filmmakers would eventually make more stories about mothers, and she thought she would return to Hollywood when that time came. Returning was not easy. She once said, "I don't know that I would advise anyone to step back the way I did." A friend had warned her that once you stop moving, it's harder to start again. But she did return, and she did it her way. She starred in Big Bad Love, a movie written and directed by her husband, and she continued to choose roles that spoke to her heart. Even when Hollywood didn't see her every day, she still existed as a powerful presence who chose her own life path, back on screen and still true to herself. After her long break, Debra slowly returned to acting, but she came back with intention, not desperation. She starred in The Ranch on Netflix, playing opposite Sam Elliott and Ashton Kutcher for 4 seasons. She also starred in The Lovers, a thoughtful film about marriage and change. She explained that the movie asks big questions about love and long relationships, saying it asks how to make something permanent with impermanent materials. For her, life is always changing, and marriage is part of that journey. The film let her explore love, routine, and passion honestly, the same way she speaks in real life. And even after returning to Hollywood work, she never became part of Hollywood life again. She said, "I don't know what Hollywood is. I'm living under the freaking sign now, and I just stare at it and laugh." To her, Hollywood is just a place, not a dream. During her time away from movies, she also got involved in important projects. She helped with environmental activism, produced documentaries like Gasland, taught at Harvard, and wrote Undiscovered. She enjoyed reading, gardening, and raising her children. She continued to be true to herself, bold, honest, private when she wanted to be, and open when she chose to be. She once said she believed deep connection in love can come again and again with the same person, if both people keep the spark alive. In work and in life, she chose depth over popularity and peace over pressure. That is why today, even with silver hair, glasses, natural style, and quiet confidence, Debra Winger still shines. She didn't disappear. She simply built a life that felt real to her. And when she steps in front of a camera now, the world remembers exactly who she is. Powerful, authentic, and unafraid to be herself. 1. Do you think Debra Winger made the right choice stepping away from Hollywood to live life on her own terms? Why or why not? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more incredible stories from Hollywood's fascinating history. See you next time!